We as a leadership team of the church have felt God ask us to push in for some clarity of what he's asking us to build as a church moving forward. And we spent a long time now, like over a year, praying, talking together as leaders and staff and, a number of people looking at prophetic words and all of those kinds of things to paint a picture of the church that the Lord is asking us to build and become. And so we've gathered a number of statements together that kind of form this vision script. And it's really a picture of the church 3 to 5 years from now. And so I'm here with Dave Bonnet, who is part of the leadership team at the church and in our School of Ministry. And we're going to chat today about one of these statements. This is totally unscripted and unplanned. We want to just take some time to unpack it and help us to explore what's this really going to look like as we kind of move forward. So Dave, today we want to chat about this one statement that we've written, which is particularly about our School of Ministry. And I'll read it out and then let's just chat it through.
Great.
It says, we run a globally recognized school of ministry, preparing leaders for every field of society. Our graduates all around the world are representing kingdom values and culture, positively impacting every facet of those around them. This, Dave, like we've had a school of ministry for a number of years, 25 years, I think. And why is it actually important for us as a church? It's kind of unique, isn't it, to have a school of ministry that's full-time?
It is unique. What I love about our school is how connected it is to the church. So you heard about other schools who are run on their own. What is special about us is how we train students to be part of a church family and to learn to do ministry. But for this 25 years with our history, you see people coming, encountering God, being transformed, and then they live and change the world. What is unique and beautiful about the school is that people choose to take time aside from busyness of life to be just focused on God for a period of time. So we run this 3-week school or 5-month school. And the intensity of how God meet people because of pushing away all distraction of life, just make all of them being completely transformed when they leave the school. So that's what I'm passionate about when I see what we do at the school. But that's what's unique, the fact we're part of, connected with the church. Our students are involved on Sunday in our church. And all week, they run after God like crazy all week. So it's beautiful to watch. And there's a good fruit in the church. But it's our motto is encounter God, be transformed, change the world. Because after that time with us, when they go, they change the world.
Talk a bit more about that, about this concept of changing the world. Like, is that because we're raising superheroes? What is it about what we do in the school that actually we believe is ultimately going to change the world?
That's a great question and a deep question, because our focus at the school, one of the main thing is not just to train people to do ministry, where you go then and change the world, but as you let God encounter you and transform you, who you are, how you carry yourself, how you treat people, change. If you're hurt and angry and come here and encounter God as a Father who loves you, your heart becomes so softer. You come home and you start to love your parents, your siblings, your friends, and they start to be transformed as well just by seeing your transformation. I can't tell you the numbers of testimony we have of people who took 5 months just to focus on God, to learn how to hear His voice, to meet Him as a Father. And just because how transformed and how much more love they receive in their hearts, their parents are like, I want what my kids have. And they start to learn how to forgive as well, to discover God as a Father. And the entire family being transformed. I can't tell you how many families like that. So transforming the world is not just go and do the work, but is you being transformed in your identity. Who am I in the eyes of the Father? That make you shine. And when you go home, affect all the relationship you have. So we see the world being transformed this way, on top of people who really go and start to preach the gospel and start to minister to others and learn to prophesy and heal the sick. And we see graduates going and changing the world in a very practical way as well, building orphanage and stuff like that, right? Or businesses with God's values, right? But at the end of the day, all the students who come, their transformation has an effect on their community, and that changed the world.
Yeah. I love the way, like you said at the beginning, that the school is so connected to the church. And this kind of school vision is so similar, really, to the church vision of actually raising disciples who are in their spheres of life and society, bringing the kingdom of God, right?
Yes.
And we've got actually decades now of seeing the fruit of that. And I love that this statement talks about graduates all around the world. Tell me, just paint a picture for us, Dave, of 5-10 years from now. Paint a picture of our graduates and what you see God doing through the work that we're doing here.
Yes, I'm glad you mentioned the church again, because the church is what the element that God has chosen to transform society, right? He manifests himself there, and we affect society as we meet in the church and get transformation in the church. The school is nothing else like the church, but more intense. So because you go away from distraction of life, you're focused just on God. Most people who did the school say, or most pastors who send people to our school says, it takes 15 years of Christian life going to church on Sunday to get the growth that you get in 5 months in your school. But no doubt it's because you just focus on one thing for 5 months, right? So the vision in 5 years where we see the same way that churches around the world are changing society, the goal of the school is to equip people faster to get breakthrough, to be able to go back to their church and bring elements of transformation, who bring passion, bring giftings, bring values that accelerate the growth and the transformation in all these churches. So our passion is to see our graduates going back to their church and transferring these values that they got in a faster amount of time, right?
In the context of their local church.
That's right.
Yeah.
I love that our movement is spreading through church planting.
Yeah.
And you see so many new churches coming up. That gives me hope. The value we see at Kajafar with Father Heart and hearing God's voice and healing of the heart, for me, are quite unique and really what God carry in or wanted to transfer to the world. And I'm glad to see all these churches who carry these values. And our passion in 5 years to see the school being a central element to help people grow faster in these values and to make this church on fire around the world. By sending people who come 5 months, go back and lead their church on fires, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm so excited that this is something, obviously, we've been doing for a long time, but something that we are passionately trying to grow in and improve in the experience that our students have, the training that they get, and also the support that we give to graduates. And so when I think, future, I think 5-10 years from now, I'm so excited to see the fruit of us continually pushing in to, raise disciples all around the world that are actually really influencing society and making it look more like the kingdom of God.
Yes.